I've had a couple of recent comments on this very particular video, and I was wondering why. Well, it's because we've officially passed the 1 year mark since Wade went missing. Let's do an update, even though we don't have any new information. Hey guys, this is Jules with True Crime Reactions. Disclaimer, everything stated in this video is my opinion and my opinion only. And just like everything else in these cases we discuss here on this channel, everything is alleged. WAID ROBISON. I brought you guys this story back in April of 2024. Wade was driving from an area right outside of Dallas. So since it's pretty much Dallas, we'll just say Dallas. It's actually the Mesquite area, but for the sake of everything, we'll just say Dallas. Was driving from the Dallas area towards Forney on Highway 80 really early in the morning, and around 6 o'clock in the morning, something ended up happening to where he lost control. The roads were wet that morning. He slammed into some cement barriers that were on the side of the highway so hard that he was able to move them.
The 22-year-old was last seen early Sunday morning when he crashed his purple Pontiac GTO.
He was headed to Forney from Mesquite Way, lost control, and spun out back of the car, hit the sidewall, and pushed the concrete pillars out of the way.
Now, there was a comment left on my previous video that if I were to look at the photos of the car, I would see that there was actually a lot more damage than what they were trying to tell. The thing is that whenever I've tried to look for photos of his purple Pontiac GTO that he crashed that morning, I haven't been able to actually find any anywhere. Now, again, it has been a year. And again, there's been no updates. All they know is that he crashed his car, didn't tell his friend that he called for a ride to work, that someone hit him, just that he apparently had lost control. Well, he was supposed to meet up with them at a local business that was nearby in order for them to pick him up and take him off to work because he had his work clothes on ready to go for the day, but he didn't make it to that location, which couldn't have been very far from where he wrecked the car because home dude was barefoot. Now, I was questioning the barefoot thing in the original video. Apparently, driving barefoot is extremely normal for him. Extremely normal. It's just how he's always driven. So, okay, a given. Nothing out of the ordinary. And it was 6 o'clock in the morning. He was on his way to work. Okay, so not inebriated. Crappy roads. People spin out in those areas on those roads all of the time. I remember whenever I lived on the Fort Worth side of the DFW area and would have to travel down 30 or 35 to get to the Dallas side, there were some roads out there that were extremely slippery. Whenever I managed a diesel shop right outside of Dallas, it would get really slippery out that way too. And that's all in those outside of Dallas areas. So for his car to have lost control with all of the oils that come up to the top of the road, so they say, whenever it starts to rain, yeah, that makes sense. But what doesn't make sense is how he just vanished. He was able to make it out of the car. He was able to call for help for a friend to come and pick him up. But then he never made it to the location, and they ended up finding his cell phone by a river that they ended up actually tracing his bare feet footprints to. But there's been nothing else. There's been legitimately nothing else. His friends were expecting to pick him up, and he just was not there. So I am actually recording this update on April the 28th. Earlier this morning, at right before 9 a.m., a local Texas CBS network went ahead and did an update. We're going to go ahead and go through that article really quick. It's been 1 year since 22-year-old Forney man went missing from a crash scene, and his family and police are still holding on to hope he will be found. In April 2024, so just last year, Wade, it says Robinson, but that's wrong. It's Robison, as you can see here in the missing persons poster. You'd think CBS would get it right, but whatever. Wade went missing after a single vehicle crash on Highway 80 near FM 46 going towards Forney, Texas. The Forney Police Department continues to hold his family in our thoughts and prayers during this difficult time, the department said in a statement. We understand this has been challenging as they struggle to maintain hope while dealing with disappointment. Forney PD said even though the department has exhausted all known resources in the case, the department will continue to pursue any leads or information what happened on the day of the crash. Police said the crash occurred at about 6 a.m. on Sunday, April 20th, 2024. They have his last name wrong through the entire article. It's been hours and no one has emailed them. You know what? I'm going to do it in a minute. Robison walked away from the scene and left his cell phone behind, police said, which is not a correct statement to be putting it. Like, they probably should have corrected this. The iPhone was actually found by a friend of Wade's near the water, where they literally followed his footsteps.
I've been searching nonstop since Sunday at about 10 in the morning. We tracked his footsteps all the way from that overpass up into the new construction zone, down this access road here, and then even in front of me you can see where he has a footprint in the mud. He was barefoot. We were able to track these steps all the way back towards the creek that we just came from, where they found his iPhone.
But still, no Wade.
We just want you to return to us, man. That's all I got. That's all I got.
This makes it sound as if the phone was left behind in the car, and that's not the case. And I'm going to start just using his first name since they have his last name as how they're addressing him, but it's freaking wrong. Dallas Fire Rescue joined the search for Wade in the following days, assisting with underwater operations in the area. After an exhaustive effort, Wade wasn't found. What else also happened is that I believe just like 2 or 3 days later, search was put on hold because of a scheduled opening of a dam. And considering the fact that his phone was found near water, there's a huge possibility, in my opinion, that he might have had some sort of head injury that he might have felt the effects of after he walked away, which is why maybe he just like stumbled off randomly instead of actually going towards where he was supposed to meet his friends. If that's the case, that's the innocent version. That's the version where something actually happened related to this freak accident, and it didn't involve some a-hole on the side of the road picking up a guy under the guise of giving him a ride and then doing worse. You know what I mean? Like, that's the most innocent answer here, is that something happened due to a head injury or something that happened internally. They said there was no blood in the car, but that does not mean there wasn't some sort of trauma to the body or the head. So there's really no telling. But whenever I heard that they were opening the dam, I was like, dang, they couldn't wait. They have a missing person that their phone was found near water in that area. They feel the need to pause the search because of the location of this dam. Don't you think the opening could have maybe waited? But it didn't. It went on as planned. Who knows what that could have honestly done to the search for him. I wonder if they searched the dam area and all of the places that were going to be affected by this dam being opened before they let the floodwaters out. Something I've thought about a lot thinking about this case. In May 2024, a horse-mounted search team, along with Forney detectives, searched an area south of the crash site, but were again unsuccessful in finding any new evidence leading to Wade's location. And that should have said searched an area. This person is just not awesome all the way around. In the year since, volunteers, police, and family members have all tried to locate Wade. Police said he is still listed as a missing person, and anyone with information about the case is asked to call the Forney Police Department at 792-552-6287 or Kaufman County Crime Stoppers at 877-847-7522. Who wrote this article? Brianna Brown. So this Brianna Brown chick that wrote this and got all of this wrong, her email is not linked where her name is at the bottom, and I tried to find her on Twitter, and I don't see any Brianna Brown with this spelling that works for CBS. So I went ahead and tagged this article on Twitter and tagged CBS and said his freaking last name is spelled wrong. There's no N. Hopefully they correct it. But yeah, that's it. There hasn't been any updates. That's why I say he either had some sort of injury and something happened on his walk to go and meet up with the buddy that he called for help, for a ride after he wrecked the car, and he's out there somewhere. Or, this is horrible to say, but you have to be real. Parts of him might be out there somewhere because it's been a year, and this isn't like the city. This is the country, all right? So this is going to be where all of your animals are. Rampantly. So there's really just no telling, especially if his phone was found near a river. Either that or somebody really did stop and offer him a ride, or maybe somebody else did something else to get him in their vehicle, and that's why he's just vanished off the map. Who knows? There's so many different possibilities here, especially since it all happened so quickly. Apparently a single car accident, which means to me that they haven't seen any proof of paint transfer. There wasn't anything on the cameras on those highways, because if it wasn't caught on camera, that doesn't necessarily take away the fact that somebody could have picked him up, because there's plenty of side roads. I mean, seriously, it's the country. It's just so wild how quickly somebody can just vanish and everything can change. But let me know if you've even heard of this case before. Again, I covered it about a year ago. We haven't done any updates since because there hasn't been any updates. But because it's been about a year, we now hit that 1 year mark. Doing an update to refresh everyone about this case seemed appropriate. So let me know, what do you guys think might have happened here? And have you heard of Wade's missing case before? Let me know down in the comments. If you like the way that I present this information and give my opinion, please don't forget to leave a like on the way out. Subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed already. And please don't forget to make sure that that notification bell is set to all so you don't miss any of my rants, reviews, reactions, updates, or deep dives. See y'all.